Oh, hello everybody. Mr. Leafy here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this one here. Cool. All right, so I'm doing a quick tutorial on this pack that I made. I was given the pack, and then I did a whole bunch of edits on it to make it so you can actually run past 2 billion in your score. Now I made it so you can actually put your sidebar as a whole bunch of mixed database or scoreboard options. And what I mean by that is, let me go out here. Let's go to the code and show you what I mean. So you can actually visually see how you want to set up the sidebar here in the config. You put a space here, the space will show up in the actual sidebar. Now the realm codes, don't just ignore that. It's not a real realm code. We have plots, and then we got balance, which is the money. But if you look here, this is the actual data mapping. It's essentially a scoreboard for the first one over here. So what that means is that plot is actually linked to a scoreboard in the game. So if you go to here to scoreboard objectives, set display, we have the option to do plots. Okay, so if I were to do that, the plots would show up on the right, kind of going over the sidebar there. So, but if you looked at the other ones over here, you'll notice it says database. Now all that is using the commands that you can actually use. You do the exclamation point, we do add, you could do remove. I do have set as well, so you can set it as an exact amount versus just adding, right? Same with the scoreboard. You can do pretty much the scoreboard stuff, right? Players, set, add, remove, right? Now I do actually have a way to test, but instead of saying test, it's going to be check. And all that does is it tags the player either a true or false statement. So that way you can use that to your ability in your command blocks to actually have the conditional for you. Otherwise, you'd just be pointless having an add and remove in the command block unless you can actually check it. So I added that in there for you guys. Let's show a use case. So let's say you add this pack in and you have a mix. If we go back to the code, here you got, hey, I got some scoreboard right here, which is fine. You just put that in there. You can mess with it in the game. Fine, no big deal. But if you have money, and the real reason you'd use this is because you want to go above 2 billion. Like, I mean, you could have the rest of these as scoreboards and just not worry about the rest. But the database for the money is the issue you have, right? You want to go past 2 billion. Okay, so is metric true? Essentially, all that is down here is it gives the ability to do KMBTP, etc., for that. So if you looked here on the right side of the screen, you'll see 10K. You'll have 500 million, etc. So that shows all the bigger scores for you. Now let's go to use case. You can actually do all these commands, right? Like I was saying here. So I want to add, let's say, to the money scoreboard. And this is not fixed right now, but you can you have to be exactly on the name. You can have it's not capital sensitive, but Mr. Leafy, you can do spaces. And then I want to do how much I want to add. So let's go ahead and set my money. So let's go ahead and set it to, let's set it to 500. Boom. It says command set added to 500. If you look at my balance now, it's 500. So what I'm doing is I'm tagging myself with that, and it's looking for the tag, starting with the exclamation point, and then it runs that through a custom command I got going, and it looks for my name and it sets me that. So if I want to set someone else 500, I put their name in. But that's just for the command. In the actual command blocks, you're going to be using their targeting system to target the player. You're not going to actually put in the player name because not everyone's going to be the same. So what we do in that case is to actually buy a gold nugget. Let's say they got 500, and it's cost 100 for a gold ingot or whatever. Then you'll do is you'll put in tag at the nearest player, add this tag, and that's going to be the exclamation point. And we're going to check to make sure the person has that much money first, because we don't want them trying to get the free item or whatever. Now, if that's true, what it does, it tags you with check true, and then you have the next command block, which is going to run right after, as tag. So you're going to tag yourself with money 100, says remove that if the tag equals check true. And that's just our conditional working there. Now, if that's true and the tag is added, then we can simply give them the golden ingot. We don't actually have to do, check true on the nearest player, just because this is already taking care of that for us. So check money. If that's true, then we're going to remove the money. And if that happens, unconditional, then we'll just give them the gold ingot. Now, there's some things to note with this pack is there are some timings you got to watch. The first one you're going to do, you always want delay 2. This will be the fastest you can go because it takes time for the tag to work. It's magic. And the next ones you want to have delay 1. Delay 1. If you have it too fast, it won't give time for the tag to get on the player and then check it. And it will not work every time. So when you put that on there, and as you notice there, we have it spamming us, right? It's buying a lot in one go. Now, this is the fastest you can do. Say you wanted to put it on a lever, and you want someone to buy it very quickly. Boom, right? Now I need more money, so let's go ahead and add some money to my balance. I did odd numbers just for fun, I guess, or just to make it see easier, I guess. Give me 1 second to cough. All right, we got 1.1k. Now, like I was saying, we can spam it really quickly, right? Cool, right? That's with the 2. That's the fastest you can do that. Now, if it's a button, you want to actually make that longer because it takes a little bit for that button to release its redstone. So I'll usually do about 20 ticks. Excuse me, I've had a crazy cough lately. Whoa. Okay, back to business. So with the button, if you put delay 20, it has time to release before it goes again. So it just gives the person 1. Now what I suggest is if you want to give them more than 1 at a time in a go, you'll make another block above it showing like 64 ingots, and then you'll just make the amount of money as needed there. So that way, instead of doing 1 a million times, you can do 1, 64, they buy more and more and more. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, so that's my suggestion. Now, if you're selling, it's actually a little bit shorter. You're just clearing like a normal command, and then all you're doing is adding the money. So if you wanted to add, you just tag the person with add money to 100. And it's already targeting them, so we don't actually have a target other than the at P, the nearest player. Okay, so that's essentially how that works. I did the other ability of doing it so you can do 64 at a time. So if they have a lot, you can do that as well. But you'll need some more checks to make sure that's good. So, alrighty, so that's how the command blocks work. Once again, you got the commands, the add, the remove, the check, which you can use in your hand, but I mean, you can technically do it if you're checking for somebody, they want to check their true or false on something, you can do that. But it's essentially made for the command block. You got set as well. So those are the options you have in the command blocks to go about do that. So I mean, once again, you got that ability. Now the only reason we made this was because we wanted to go over the billion, right? The billion amount. So let's say I wanted to add a billion, which is a big number, right? I'm not sure if that's even in the range we have here. 1.10p, 1.0p. I think that's the largest. I mean, we could probably go larger in the script, but that's a large number. I mean, what's the point of having that number? Oh, I forgot. That's add, so let's go ahead and put set. Oh, we're at 10 trillion now. See? 10 trillion. Come down a number to another one number. 1,000 billion. That's a lot. And then you got the next down number, 100 billion, right? You just keep going down lower. Let's go down a little bit lower than that. And then you got 1,000 million. So it just gives you the ability to go past that 2 billion mark that you can't go over in scoreboards normally. So that gives you that ability, and hopefully that helps you know how to set up your shop. If you need any help, make sure to come talk to me, Mr. Leafy, as the developer of this the add-on itself. Thank you very much, and hope you had a good time. Thanks.